It's not just radio, it's Rockland World Radio. RocklandWorldRadio.com.
That's it. Hello and welcome to Media Mashup with your host, Alex Hausner. And what you hear playing in the background is Compton, Maddox, and Steve Hardwick, and they're fantastic. So check them out. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Compton, Maddox, and Steve Hardwick, who are fantastic. And I will be interviewing them right now, or soon, or now. Yeah. So, when did you guys even start? Like, why? What made you start?
Start playing music?
Yeah.
Or just start? Oh, well.
Both.
What made us do it?
Together as musicians or individuals?
I guess both. Individuals first, I guess.
Well, let's see. I guess I got a lot of music in the family, and my mom was a big band singer, and she was named Marzone Cutchell, so she was singing in a big band in the city, and that's when my dad saw her. He was working at WOR Radio around 1942, and he was the vice president of sales, and so he was down there at the hotel in Roosevelt, and he saw my mom singing, and then he just pursued her, kind of stalked her, I guess, and actually followed her. Well, didn't follow her, but had his emissaries follow her out to California, where she was screen testing for Preston Sturgis at the time, and then he kept sending her notes on the train that said that the situation remained the same. She still wanted to marry her. And when he came back, they got married, and so that was like probably genetic. Must be some kind of genetic link between my musicality and my mother's itinerant Hollywood career. Anyway, she sang, and then she married my dad, and she kind of her singing career kind of stopped, and it transitioned to the rest of the thing. That, in a nutshell, that was a little long-winded, perhaps. That's not the reason why I played. Then afterwards, the guitar thing came up, because I wanted to play guitar, and so I got a guitar, and my first guitar teacher was Mr. Funicello, and I learned Under the Double Eagle March, which was now this was the music, obviously, that I wanted to play. I knew I would get a lot of chicks playing the Double Eagle March. So when I went back, I said, look, I need a different guitar teacher. This is not going to work. And I got this guy named Bobo Hall.
Bobo Hall.
Bobo Hall. He
Wow.
was my first guitar teacher, and he taught me all the Kingston Trio stuff. Like Three Jolly Coachmen, Charlie and the MTA. So I was kind of, and that was the beginning of my playing at my parents' parties.
Wow.
So Steve's got
Wow.
a very intriguing story because his family's got a lot of music genetics in it.
An intriguing story.
Yeah.
Let's hear it, Steve.
Oh, well, actually, I come from a lot of music background too. I had a grandfather that played fiddle. He also played guitar, and he also played mandolin. I remember probably when I was 5, 6 years old, sitting on his lap, and he'd make us grab the bow, and he'd bow stuff. And my father, through those years, played bass and guitar, and he also played at the local VFW and American Legion halls back in Indiana, where I'm originally from. And
Yeah,
so,
I hear a bit of an accent there. Thinking Midwestern South, but Indiana, that's pretty cool.
Midwest.
Midwest.
So I remember many Saturdays going down to the VFW and listening to Dad's combo rehearse. And what got me actually interested in, I got to say, was seeing the Beatles on TV. I saw that. I saw the guitars, the girls screaming. I said, "That's for me. That's for me." So at about age 11, I put enough money together, bought a plastic guitar, and started teaching myself to learn how to play. And when I was 12, I've got 3 other brothers and a sister, and they're all musically inclined too. When we were 12, we could get one big gift. My older brother got a set of drums when he was 12, and I'm about a year and a half behind him. So I knew when I was 12 I was going to get my first electric guitar and amp. So that's what started me. I started playing with my brother in his bands, played all through junior high and high school.
Right.
Horn bands, doing R&B stuff, blues, James Brown.
Good stuff.
Then in '72 I went out on the road and started playing 6 nights a week, 50 weeks a year, just traveling all over the country.
It's a lot.
That's where I cut my chops as far as being a musician, was playing 6 nights a week.
Yeah.
And that led me down to the Southland with a band called Whiteface. In about 1978, we got signed to Mercury Records and did 2 albums for them. I started doing some studio work down there, worked with a singer-songwriter by the name of Paul Davis. I played on his 1986 hit Cool Night. I was actually playing guitar all those years. And they actually still play that song on soft rock stations. Went out and toured with him, did American Bandstand, Solid Gold, and
Heard of American Bandstand?
ended up about a year before I got here. I came up here at about 1986, I think it was. I spent about 10 months with my 2 brothers out in California, cut all my hair off, went and worked at Disneyland. with them.
Disneyland.
Played the Main Street Parade. It was a great
Wow.
gig, 20 minutes a day, paid $200 a week. And
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It was. And then I came up to New York, and I don't know, probably within the first year that I was up here, I saw this guy.
And that was my
standing
next
to
question.
left,
How did
saw
you guys
this
meet?
guy.
Yeah, we actually we had kids of relatively the same ages, and we were at one of those kids parks, and he was sitting down, and this kid, it was, where was it? No, it was 23rd Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, so our kids were playing, and we started talking, and then I said, wow, this is great, So at that point, I was playing at this bar on 24th Street called the Chelsea Commons, and our name was Secondhand Smoke was the name of the band.
Secondhand Smoke.
Secondhand Smoke. Because
Wow.
this place was filled with smoke. It was like a death trap kind of. So we started as Secondhand Smoke. We called it the Skeleton Crew because
Right.
So we played there usually as a quartet, and we had the great fortune of playing with this guy Charles Otis, who was Honey Boy Otis, who was John Hammond's drummer for many years, and just the most incredible, New Orleans drummer you can imagine. I mean, all you have to you move your shoulder and he just watched you like a hawk. And so we would play down there, and then what happened? Like, I guess the thing, Steve moved up here, and then I kind of followed him up after a while.
So we've been playing together, getting close to 20 years.
20 years.
20 years. Wow.
20 years. Yes, 20
It's a long
years.
time.
It's been 20 years. Yeah, 20 years. Yeah. So now we pretty much, our genetics are kind of welded together. But really, we are kind of not psychopaths, but psychopathic. Although being a psychopath, evidently, I've read is, can be a good thing.
I heard it was underrated. I heard being a psychopath is underrated. That's just me.
Yeah, it is underrated. I mean, it's very focusing.
Yeah.
You tend to objectify people way too much, though. But anyhow, so that's the gist of it. So then when we came up here, we started to, we hooked up with this guy, Lenny Post, who had a studio over in Blauville. And we said, I'd made an album in the 90s called Feet of Play. And then so then we decided to do kind of an Americana type album. And
Wow.
that was Dirt Simple. So now that's the name of the band as well.
Wow.
It is a pretty well. I mean, it's like kind of a big run-on sentence. anyway, but you want us to play another tune?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay, cool. Whoops. Uh-oh, is there somebody who can get that for me? No. Oh, excellent, thank you. I was
So what song are we going to be playing now?
well, this one, we kind of were...
Oh, bad luck.
Can you get that for me? Oh, jeez. This brings me to my, my big...
Is that mic working?
There's not a... Is this working? Check.
We'll see.
Check. There we go. How's that? How's that sound in the
Good.
room?
Sounds great.
You feeling it? Yeah. Okay, cool. Oh. Anyway, this is a tune called Black Violin. This is we won a few awards with this tune down south. We went down to Memphis, played this at the Memphis Folk Alliance, and also we were down in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, at the W.C. Handy Music Festival.
Wow.
And this tune is about a violin that likes to watch. So it's kind of a sentient entity that watches the passage of time, and some pretty bizarre and bizarre things happen on its journey from player to player.
It's relative. Everything's relative.
Red dress blowing, full of summer wind, and make a man to fall in love again. No price too high for the wages of sin, when black-eyed Susan plays her black violin. Well, stories my daddy never shared about bad blood and whiskey. Ward 45, if Billy come home on the 4th of July. Yeah, she played it sweet, she played it clean, made the whole damn world forget the trouble it seen. Yeah, they ain't no prisons, baby, everybody killed. When Black Eyed Susie plays a black violin, the stars come out on the white lightning. When Black Eyed Susie plays a black violin. Well, now take her up the mountain to the whiskey still. Sit her down and let her drink her fill. Yeah, pray to the Lord, let the romance begin. But she won't stop playing the black violin. Yeah, she played it sweet, like honey in the rain. Yeah, long black veil and mystery train. Heart started pounding, baby, head started to spin. When Black Eyed Susie plays a black violin, the stars come out on the white lightning. When Black Eyed Susie plays a black violin. Violin surrender up on Satan's ridge. The hungry man can't get enough of it. Shameless kisses on a moonshine night. I see your future is up on thin ice. Yeah, she played sweet, she played it clean, make the whole damn world forget the trouble it's seen. Yeah, there ain't no prison, baby, everybody can. Black Eyed Susie plays a black violin, the stars come out on the white lightning. Black Eyed Susie plays a black violin. Well, now 20 years later, I'm standing in the shade. I'm staring at the stones where my mom and papa lay. When I get to thinking back, you know I got to grin, 'cause I'm the love child of a black violin. Yeah, I'm the love child. He's a love child. 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 Yeah, I'm the love child. He's a love child. I'm the love child. He's a love child. Yeah, I'm the love child. He's a love child. Yeah, I'm the love child. He's a love child. Yeah, love, 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 love,
Wow. That was amazing. I'm speechless.
Are you?
Yeah, that was Black Violin.
Black Violin.
Right.
Yeah.
I listened to that song a few days ago off the MySpace, and I thought that was amazing. I thought that whole song was great, and watching you guys live performing it was even better. So
Cool.
one of the best things I've ever heard, honestly.
Thanks. Well,
And with no violin.
Yeah, and no violin. That's one
Yeah.
of those things as you keep going, well, where's the violin? So
Yeah.
occasionally we do have the violin on it.
Right.
On the cut. But we're going to be playing that one. We're playing down at the Turning Point on Friday.
Hear that, folks? You can go to the Turning Point and watch them
You
perform.
can watch us live. Or
March 8th.
March 8th.
On Friday. And we'll be down there with a big band. We got Bill Rule playing the hammer dulcimer, who's a fantastic talent. And you know what hammer dulcimer is? It's like a
I believe so.
string piano, kind of Appalachian.
Okay.
Kind of an Appalachian piano. And then he also plays percussion, and fantastic percussion. Also tabla. And then we got Johnny Moses playing electric guitar, who I've played with for. We say instead of how long we've played, we always say now since we were teenagers. So
That's
we've
funny.
been playing since we've been teenagers, and trying to remain teenagers through the music, of course.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
And then we may have a guest trumpet player
Mhm.
on one tune. We do this tune, Rock and Roll Star, which is, we do a kind of a Birds medley
Right.
tribute. And Rock and Roll Star has Hugh Masekela on the original cut, so the trumpet player, it's very in the background.
Right.
So we're going to have this guy. Hopefully he's going to wear I mean, I have a lot of fantasies, but he's going to wear a black mariachi suit, a gigantic
That's funny.
sombrero, and just kind of walk into the club playing, as though he just wandered in out of the hurricane. And then also we have a cellist, and her name is Erica, I think, and she's
I think.
yeah, Erica, and she's very new to the band. I mean,
Mhm.
she hasn't even played with us
Maybe
yet.
her debut.
This will be her debut, so we're looking forward to
That's
having her
exciting.
up there. And we have to fit them all on a stage that's about as big as that area that you're dealing with over there.
Oh, wow.
Table.
Like that, like this. And of course, the effects crew, the semis. I want to thank my mother, and also Steve Sterling, our management, who's English and talks like this. He goes,
Hey,
boys,
Compton, this isn't the Grammys.
right, you really got, you guys really, I just hope when does the music start playing there, like wrap it up. Anyway, Steve Sterling will be there, and also Jerry Mander, who was our manager in California.
Right.
So we'll have all our old managers there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bit of a nostalgia.
It's going to be a whole management
Whole management fest.
extravaganza.
Orgy.
Because the thing was, we keep trying to find managers who will stick with us.
Right.
And we basically burned these guys out.
And we're still going.
Yeah, because you can't destroy that many hotel rooms.
How many hotel rooms have you destroyed?
We have whole city blocks.
Really?
Basically. Yeah.
Wow.
Particularly when we travel abroad. Right. Steve always goes, "Look, guys, we said it, when you come into London, it's just, you're a bunch of colonists, So, we come in there, we go down to Abbey Road and check it out. We want to record down there. So anyway, we're looking for another manager out there. Hello, managers. Managers, also booking agents, because we're trying to get into the college circuit now, because we'd like to maybe broaden our horizons and also go back to school. And so the college thing is appealing, I want to go to Harvard.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I want to play there.
I want to go to Harvard, so let's just play there.
Harvard Yard.
Yeah, Harvard Yard,
The Harvard Yard.
The Harvard Yard.
Yeah, you have to talk like that. We really like to go there to Harvard Yard. We'd like to play there.
I'm sure they'll let you go.
Kennedy Library also is a big
Yeah.
one. Also, soccer stadiums.
Yeah, soccer stadiums are nice.
Soccer stadiums, when they're not using them for,
Soccer
torture and
games.
disposing of, we could be playing there.
Exactly.
Yeah, South America soccer stadiums, Serbian, wherever.
Now,
wherever men play soccer.
where do you think the coolest place you've ever played at was?
Oh wow! Well, it's probably got to. Boy, the coolest place. Well, there are lots of.
We'll get your opinion and we'll get Steve's opinion afterwards.
Coolest place. Well, the coolest place we played together, we played at this place called the Grove, which
Yeah.
is out in California, which is up in Sonoma County. So that was the first time we actually got flown. We got flown out there and flown up on a private jet. And,
Wow.
And we sat with this guy Lamont Dozier, who wrote every Motown tune that you can imagine.
Wow.
And he was on the plane with us. And so we went up there. And then who else was up there? That was pretty cool.
Weir?
Yeah, Bob Weir.
Bob Weir.
Bob Weir's there. What's the other guy? Steve Miller.
Steve Miller.
Ted Nugent. I heard he was there, but we could hear his guns going off. And Ted was there. Ted was there hunting the most dangerous game, Democrats.
Oh man.
Anyway, so so that was a really cool
my
place.
vote for the Grove also. That's spectacular.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, that was a great place.
You copycat.
Yeah, copycat. Well,
Yeah.
Steve has played for very large crowds.
Yeah.
With Whiteface. I mean, he played that.
I've been in front of like 50, 60,000
Wow.
places. I remember Georgia Tech, when Whiteface first came out with the album, that was probably 79. It was called the July Jam. I think there was over 60,000 people in Georgia Tech Stadium.
Wow.
And I normally don't get too nervous, but I was so nervous walking out there in front of this sea of people that I literally could not stand up straight. I was so weak in the knees. It took me about 2 or 3 songs to finally get to even where
Does that happen to you often? Do you get nervous when you play?
Yeah, it's good for your performance.
Right.
There's always that anxiety. But it's I can say that I've never gone on stage and not been nervous.
Right.
And if I ever get to that point, I think it's time to pack it up. Pack it in.
And what about you, Compton? Have you ever been really nervous on stage?
For me, I don't know. I'm more nervous when I'm off stage. I think probably like when I get up and start to move. I find breaking a sweat is important. If you have nervousness, it's just like sports. As soon as you break a sweat, that's why it's bad to play in an air-conditioned club.
Yeah.
Because you're seriously.
No, yeah, of course.
Chilled out. It's also terrible for your voice, but I mean, breaking a sweat. I swear to God, as soon as you just kind of break through that barrier and just, and then everything's.
Now, speaking of breaking a sweat, I hear you're an avid runner. Is that true?
I do run. Well, actually, I have been more avid.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, I'm starting tomorrow. To be more avid. I've got the clothes. I did the turkey trot, which was around late, and I ran that, and I hadn't run really in about 5 years.
Right.
And that was 5 miles.
Now, you told me that there was a deer involved in that?
What happened was we were all running, 4,000 of us, and then the deer were on the inside next to the lake, and we were running around the lake on the track.
Yeah.
Then the deer started to run with this huge herd of deer, and some of them had horns. And
right.
Some of them were wearing hats. And some of them were dressed in lingerie.
Right.
It was pretty wild.
Wow.
But they're running with us, and we're all looking. Whoa, man! And they're running very fast, and then all of a sudden, about 20 of them shoot across a trail, and they just they just knock over about 4 or 5 people.
Wow.
A couple of girls, they broke.
That's crazy. You saw it right in front of you?
Pretty close. I mean, I'd say about 40 or 50 feet in front of me.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people, because a lot of those people went right to the JCC where I work right after, and they were doing whatever they were doing, and then they were talking about the stories they were there, and they were talking about how these deer out of nowhere, well, not out of nowhere, but they came and they trampled these 4 women, and a few of them got injured. That's crazy.
I had to jump up and grab one of the deer off because it was trying to carry the woman away.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I grabbed it by the horns and pulled it to the side. Then, it was amazing. Then I leapt up on top of it.
Right.
And it improved my time quite a bit.
Oh.
Riding deer is like, ride them.
Have you ever had one of those experiences before, Steve?
Say again?
Have you ever had one of those experiences?
Not riding deer, I can't say no.
No, but there were other things as you've ridden.
Wow.
Well, we won't
It's a PG-13 show. We're not going any far past that.
Yeah, but I'm not. It's like we're good with animals. because we have.
That's
to be,
good.
'cause
That's good
we
to
are
know.
We're aggro rockers.
Right.
That's like, I mean, but the tunes that we do usually have to do with agriculture. A lot of them, like we have one called Cornfield. We have another one called, and also, hard work, manual labor, like one called Backhoe, which is a pretty cool tune.
Right.
You want us to ride out with Backhoe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let me tune because I was at. What do you say now? Yeah, this is it.
Strings for me.
Sorry about that. Anyway, this is a tune. Let's see. I wrote this tune. I'm gonna say I wrote it with this guy Paul J. Because he's been very cranky lately. So, but this is a tune that we wrote. We would go over to his house on Monday nights, and Steve went over with me one time.
Right.
And every Monday night we get together, and this was one of the tunes that was generated out of that rather drunken meeting every Monday.
Right.
We drank Ballantine ale. So
The 48 ounces.
48.
That's huge. It's really big.
Yeah, the big ones.
I feel like you'd probably finish the whole thing by yourself.
Yeah, and then I'd be looking for another one.
Exactly.
There's a great Ballantine ale song. Actually, that was like from the '60s. It was called "Who is the ale man? It could be you, a man with a thirst for a manlier brew. 3 out of 4 men every time bake the colder, cleaner tasting ale. Ballantine."
Do you ever think about doing commercials?
Oh yeah, I've done a few.
You have?
Yeah, I've done a few commercials.
Wow.
I worked for this company called Editel. We did a few.
Okay, that's cool.
What's another one we did? We did a Chuck. We worked on a commercial for that guy who was the Secretary of State under Reagan. He owned a station in Washington, so we played So we basically did a commercial for his station, and with a Chuck Berry tune.
Chuck Berry, wow.
And Chuck Berry. It was a Chuck Berry tune.
Right, but that's
I
so
did
cool.
The shadow vocal and the guitar, and so they finally got and what was old time rock and roll.
Right.
Anyway, so we did it, and then it came time for Chuck to cut it live. So they got him this fabulous band, and they took him to Astoria to this sound stage, got him all set up, and then of course he completely blew it. I mean, he didn't play well and everything. I probably shouldn't say this because he would probably get me killed.
He might.
Like it was killed. Anyway, so they brought it back, and they actually had me cut the guitar part because it had come out so badly.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but boy, I don't want him to find out about that because he's not nice. You know what I mean? Yeah.
He's all business.
He's all business. He's all business. He wants to get paid in advance. Anyway, so this is called Backhoe.
Backhoe.
I gotta go.
Sounds beautiful.
I don't wanna work on this road no more. Just wanna lie with you for the rest of my life in an Airstream, baby. Leave that old backhoe rusting in my backyard. That's my dream. That's my dream. Yeah. Septic's in the valley, foundation by the river, busting up the concrete, landfill to deliver. And if you were to ask me where this life is found, then that is to the roadhouse to wash and scrabble down. 'Cause baby, I don't wanna work on this road no more. Just gonna lie with you for the rest of my life in Airstream. Let these long dicks don't ask me about my prospects. Saving that discussion for another time. When the ditches turn to mud, leavings in my blood. It's Texas or Alaska comes easily to my mind. Yes, baby, I don't wanna work on this road no more. Just wanna lie with you for the rest of my life with an airstream, baby. Be that old backhoe rusting in my backyard. That's my dream. That's my dream. Yeah. That genuine affection that I feel for you might not last this night if you ask me what I do. Cause tomorrow, babe, at 7, I'm working around 11. 3 o'clock is simple, yeah, I'm not going home. The septic's in the valley, foundation's by the river. No time for temptation, landfill to deliver. I don't wanna work on this road no more. Work. I don't wanna work on this road no more. Work, work. I don't wanna work, yeah, 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 on this road no more. Work, work, yeah. I don't wanna work, yeah, on this road, yeah. Hey, 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 ha, 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 ha. Ooh. Hey, 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 hey,
All right, I want to thank you guys, Compton, Maddox, and Steve Hardwick, for a great show today.
Fantastic.
And that wraps up our show for today.
Are we coming back next week?
You guys can come back whenever you want.
Okay.
You can be my my band, my
Be the house band.
yeah, that'd be perfect. So thank you for watching Media Mashup, and I will be back next week. And have a good week.
Oh, can I? Oh, that's last. Are you signing off? Just one last thing. I just want to thank my wife for putting this together because
Thank
she's
you,
out
Eve.
there. Thanks, Eve.
Thank you, Eve.
And also, Friday, March 8th, The Turning Point. Please
Yeah,
come
once
down and
again.
see us.
Yeah.
Yes, go watch all their performances. They're great. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, is that your mic?
It's not just radio, it's Rockland World Radio. RocklandWorldRadio.com.